And you know what? I haven't seen one pro.
I haven't not a
Kill that bill, if I had a song, I'd sing it in the morning, sing it in the evening, all over this land. I'd sing it out danger, I'd sing it out warning.
That's a beautiful one. I love that one. That's got to go to YouTube.
All over this land, with me. Land. Love the union. Love the unions. Love the workers. Love the workers. Love the people. Let me hear you. Love the people. Love the people. Love the people. Say no to Walker. Say no to Walker. Say no to Walker. Say no to Walker. We're here together. We're here together. Let me hear you. We're here together. Yes. We're here together. We're here together. We're kept warm by each other. Kept warm by each other. Kept warm by Put your arms around each other. Warm by each other. Put your arms around each other. That works. Well now, I've got a hammer. Yes, and I've got a bell. Yes, and I got a song to sing. All over this land, it's still the hammer of justice. About the love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. Kill the bill. Say no to Walker, no to Walker, yes to workers, 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 no. It's the hammer of justice, it's freedom, song about love, brothers and sisters, all over this I'm deeply honored to be here with you because when we marched in 1963, Mary, Noel, Paul, Stookie, and I, we stood there when Dr. Martin Luther King was delivering his I Have Dreams speech and looked at each other and said, Mary said to me, she took my hand, God bless her, she's with us now. And she said, Peter, we're watching history being made. And indeed we were. Let me just make something clear to you. At that time, if you were to go to Washington, D.C., and you were a person of color, in our nation's capital, you would not have been able to use the same toilets as a person, a Caucasian, in many, many, many circumstances. If you were a young black child, you couldn't go to Washington with your class because there weren't any hotels that would take blacks and whites together. You could not use the same water fountain. God forbid that your lips as a white person would touch the same spigot as a person of color. Marian Anderson, a great Metropolitan Opera singer, was not allowed to sing in Constitution Hall, and indeed, at that time, there were lynchings on average once every 3 days. Now, we made a silent promise to each other that day that in our hearts we would never, never stop. And somebody who might have been the target of lynching that day, had he been the proper age and looked at somebody in the wrong way, that very person, had he been alive then, is now the President of the United States. So if you doubt your capacity to move the mountain, let me look at this history with you from that vantage point. If you persist, you will prevail. The very heart of what makes America a compassionate nation, a nation of equity and fairness, is at stake. If we do not realize that people, ordinary human beings, should be embraced with a sense of fairness, rather than taking a huge amount of money as tax breaks for corporations, and then saying it must be paid on the backs of ordinary working people. Which is what Governor Morkel has attempted to do. But remarkably, even given that, in point of fact, this is not about a deficit. It has nothing to do with a deficit. It has to do with an attempt to break the voice, the heart, and the reality of the strength of common people who fought for decades and decades and decades to have a little bit of the American dream and respectability. If there were no unions, there might still be children working in factories that were manufacturing clothing. If there were no unions, there would not be the guaranteed safeties that were put in place. There would not be the kinds of things that we take for granted as being the reality of American way of life, which is Social Security, which is health care to the degree that we have it, even though we still remain the only country that fought in the Second World War that does not have universal health care. But all of these victories that were won for equity and justice to bring us out of that dark age came about to a large degree because the union movement brought them to light and to reality. With the taking away of collective bargaining rights, you effectively destroy the reason for it, the meaning of, the modus operandi, and the capacity to continue that fairness, and you say goodbye to it in our country in a very fast, eroding fashion. We cannot allow that to occur. Therefore, stop the bill. Now let's bring this one up. Bring this microphone up. This is the guitar mic. Bring it up. There you go. Okay. Here we go. Was it Cesar Chavez or Rosa Parks that day? Some say Dr. King or Gandhi that set them on their way. No matter who your mentors are, it's pretty plain to see that if you've been to jail for justice, you're in good company. You have been to jail for justice. I want to shake your hand, 'cause sitting in and lying down, ways to take a stand. Have you sung a song for freedom?
Did you catch who it was who was singing? Who it is? The name of the person? Peter Paul and Mary?
And you're a friend of mine. Please bring up the guitar. Please bring up this guitar.
Thank you for verifying that.
Bring this guitar up. Please find this guitar. There are only 2 channels. This one. And bringing it up. Bring it up some more. There you go. Don't change it now.
You go, Peter!
You law-abiding citizens, come listen to this song. 'Cause laws were made by people, and people can be wrong. Once unions were against the law, but slavery was fine. Women were denied the vote, children were the mind. The more you study history, the less you can deny it. A rotten law stays on the books till folks with guts defy it. You've been to jail for justice. I want to shake your hand, 'cause sitting in and lying down are ways to take a stand. Have you sung a song for freedom, or march the picket line? Have you been to jail for justice? Then you're a friend of mine. Try bringing this one up again, a little more, please. A little more up. Keep it there. Now the law's supposed to serve us, and so are the police. But when the system fails, it's up to us to break it. Speak our peace. We must be ever vigilant for justice to prevail. So get courage from your convictions. Let them haul you off to jail. Have you been to jail for justice? I want to shake your hand, 'cause sitting in and lying down are ways to take a stand. Have you sung a song for freedom and march the picket line? Have you been to jail for justice? Then you're a friend of mine. Have you been to jail for justice? Then you're a friend of mine. Have you been to jail for justice? Then you're a friend of mine. Have you been to jail for justice? Then you're a friend of mine.